How political parties? How can parties be reformed? In order to face challenges which we have studied previously, political parties need to be reformed. The question is, are political parties willing to reform? If they are willing, what has prevented them from reforming so far? If they are not willing, is it possible to force them to reform? Citizens all over the world face this question. This is not a simple question to answer. In a democracy, the final decision is made by leaders who represent political parties. People can replace them, but only by another set of party leaders. If all of them do not wish to reform, how can anyone force them to change? Let us look at some of the recent efforts and suggestions in our country to reform political parties and its leaders. The constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs and MPs from changing parties. Now the law says that if any MLA or MP changes parties, then they will lose the seat in the legislature. This new law has helped bring defection down. At the same time, this has made any dissent even more difficult. MPs and MLAs have to accept whatever the party leaders decide. Now it is mandatory for every candidate who contests election to file an affidavit giving details of his property and criminal cases pending against him or her. The Election Commission passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax returns. The parties have started doing so, but sometimes it is merely formality. Besides this, many suggestions are often made to reform political parties. A law should be made to regularize the internal affairs of political parties. It should be made mandatory for political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about one-third to women candidates. Similarly, there should be a quota for women in the decision-making bodies of the party. The government could give parties money to support their election expenses. This support could be given in kind of petrol, paper, telephone, etc. Or it could be given in cash on the basis of the votes secured by the party in last elections. There are two other ways in which political parties can be reformed. 1. People can put pressure on political parties. This can be done through petitions, publicity, and agitations. Ordinary citizens, pressure groups and movements, and the media can play an important role in this. If political parties feel that they would lose public support by not taking up reforms, they would become more serious about reforms. Two political parties can improve if those who want this join political parties. The quality of democracy depends on the degree of public participation. The problem of bad politics can be saved by more and better politics. We shall return to this theme in final chapter. Till then, keep learning. Summary. Political parties are easily one of the most visible institutions in a democracy. For most ordinary citizens, democracy is equal to political parties. A political party is a group of people who come together to contest elections and hold power in the government. A political party has three components: the leaders, the active members, and the followers. A government is expected to base its policies on the line taken by the ruling party. Parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare schemes implemented by governments. A party that secures at least 6% of total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party. Other than 6 national parties, most of the major parties of the country are classified by the Election Commission as state parties. In a democracy, the final decision is made by leaders who represent political parties.